Always accept the things that are around you at that very moment for what they are and see the beauty in every situation, because even a bad situation, you can find something positive, something somewhere positive. And if you can do that, that'll make your journey just a little bit better, a little smoother. Um, don't give up. When you have negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, someone's saying something to you, a lot of times it's just fear. And fear is really the absence of hope and faith. So for all of you who say you have faith and you have hope and all of those things, remind yourself of what fear is. So when you feel those fearful thoughts and feelings and emotions coming on, ask yourself, are you willing to give up your faith and your hope and replace it with fear? Because, that's really the biggest question. And if that answer is no, then you got to dig your heels in, honey, and you got to keep fighting forward. And even if you have to talk to yourself and hold a whole conversation, everybody looking at you like you're crazy, do so. Because if it's going to get you through whatever you're going through, do it. Okay? So, I come across a lot of comments and posts on social media and things I hear people say, even in general conversation when I'm out and about. And a lot of it is, well, I could have done this, or I want to do that, but I don't think I can. When you talk yourself out of your dreams, you are not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting everyone that you could have possibly reached, touched, and inspired along the way. So remember that when you are giving up on yourself, it's not just you that suffers the consequences. And I just wanted to touch on that and talk about that because lately I've been realizing things about myself. I talked before about the mask that we wear and trying to figure out who you really are and what you really want out of life. And, I'm in the process myself. And in that process, I question a lot of things. And when I realized that I kept seeing or hearing or experiencing those types of comments and feelings and thoughts, I had to ask myself, really and honestly, number one, I can't say I have faith. I can't say I have hope and trust and belief in myself or God if I'm carrying fear. So working out of that, because once your body is accustomed to feeling something, it feels it on its own. You have to actually actively retrain your mind and your body to stop feeling that feeling. Even worry. Worry is the same thing. If you can wake up in the middle of the night and feel stress that you didn't even realize you were carrying all day long in your awake day. So these are things that we must all work on, because not only is stress hurtful to our everyday life, it's harmful to our physical bodies as well. So, we have to really, really, really examine ourselves and ask the hard questions of ourselves, because the only person that's going to hear it is you and God. When you ask those questions and you answer them, that's who you're with. No one else needs to know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and all of those things, unless you want them to. So when you encounter obstacles, opportunity for obstacles, the unknown, don't run. Stand your ground, take a deep breath, and figure out a way through it, over it, under it, or around it. But either way you see it, it's on the other side, whatever it is that you're going for. And if you want it, go get it. Go get it. Don't worry about what everybody else got to say. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking. Even if it's something like, I saw on something earlier today, they were talking about K. Michelle, the singer, she's an R&B singer. She wants to break into the country music genre, and she wants people to take her seriously. Well, the only way people are going to take you seriously is if you take you seriously. And she's pushing forward, and I admire that about her. And I know that she's going to run into a lot of negativity because it's kind of a closed genre. I mean, I do know that there are a few country singers out right now doing great things that are African American, fabulous music. I listen to it all the time. But getting your foot in that door and knocking down those walls, she's a trailblazer just because she's doing what she's doing. So imagine how hard it's going to be for her until she gets there. And even when she gets there, it's still going to have to deal with it. That's just like desegregating schools. Think of that when you think of K. Michelle becoming a country music star, because that's basically what she's doing. She's walking into a predominantly all one race group of people and saying, here I am, and I have something to offer you, and I believe you're going to enjoy it and embrace it. And that right there is like epic. So the next time you're thinking about your business, your classes that you want to take, or the classes that you're already taking, the job that you want to go for, the promotion that you would like to have, ask yourself, are you smart enough? Are you strong enough? Do you want it enough? And if all of those answers are yes, even if they're a maybe, go for it. Go for it. Because everybody, you have to learn in order to get to where you're going. Don't stop learning. Don't stop trying. And don't be afraid to work outside of the box. Okay. I've never been really big on following the rules to the point of never veering outside of them. That being said, when I was younger, I would get jobs. I knew that when I walked into the position, I wasn't going to be in that position very long because I was moving up. I saw a position that I wanted in the company, which is why I took the job doing whatever it was that I was doing, because I knew that once I got in there, I was going to figure out a way to get that promotion. And I've never been in a job for longer than a year where I did not get promoted when I wanted to. Now, I will say that I've been in a job, even my job that I'm with now, it's not that I did not have the opportunity to change positions. I chose not to change positions because I feel like at this point in my life, if I get comfortable working for someone else, I'm going to continue to work for someone else because it's going to be a crutch. But if I stay in a position that keeps me, uneasy, keeps me, outside of my comfort zone, it's going to push me and continue to push me to figure out and find my way, find what I want. And I know what my passion is. And that's something a lot of people I found out they don't know. They don't even consider what their passion is. They just get up every day and say, well, I'm here, so I got to do whatever I can do to survive until tomorrow. I don't wish that on anyone. I don't wish that on anyone. When you wake up every morning, if you can't wake up smiling and happy that you have another day to do what you want to do, that's a problem. That is a problem. If you want to sing, sing. If you want to dance, dance. If you want to go out here and just be a janitor. Be a janitor. Be the best janitor you can be. I see nothing wrong with it. It's honest day's work. Whatever it is that you want to do, it's possible to do. Look at these millennials. If we can't learn anything from these millennials, we can learn that the sky is the limit and there are no boundaries on what your imagination can make reality. Because these kids are doing it every day. And we're trying to figure out what made them think of it. But when you think that and you ask that question, ask yourself this. How many things have you thought of that was so far off from what everyone else was doing, but you didn't follow through? How many times did you have an idea that you slept on, that you talked about to other people in public, not knowing who you were talking to, only to see your idea in the stores, on the shelf, on TV, things like that? Songs being sang, they don't have your name on it and you don't get the royalties. Why? Because you didn't think that it was any good. There's value in everything. And we are not here walking around on this earth without having the ability to give value to this world and to this life. So if you want to be a farmer, be a farmer. If you want to be a scientist, go to school and get your degrees. Whatever it is, you can do it. Whatever it is, you can do it. Because if you're not doing what you want to do and what makes you happy and brings you joy, you're not doing what you should be doing. It's not that your purpose is being left behind. And that's not good. Search for your heart. When you wake up in the morning, what is it something that you do or desire to do every single day? Even if it's just be a at-home mom or babysit children, no matter what it is. Think about what you really, really, really in your secret world, in your closed off heart and mind and behind the doors, in the closet, in the dark. What is that desire that you really, really have? And figure out a way to make it a part of your life. I promise you, you won't regret it because it'll bring you joy. And every little bit of joy that comes to your heart makes your quality of life that much better. And, our whole purpose is to live our best lives. And living our best life doesn't mean putting on a cute t-shirt that says living my best life, doing your hair up and putting some makeup on and taking pictures and posting it on social media. That's not your best life. That's just you. That's it. Not your best life. Your best life is when you are smiling every day and you are happy and you are whole. You are whole. You don't need a man or a woman to make you whole. You don't need anybody to make you whole. Get with yourself. Get your spirit right. Get your mind right. Get all of that together. If you feel like you really could use someone to talk to, for your mental health, I implore you. Find a therapist, sit down on the couch, in the chair, however they have their office set up, and have a conversation or two with them. You'd be surprised at what you get out of it. Heck, I'll be the first to admit, and I'm not ashamed. I go to a therapist. I enjoy talking to my therapist because my therapist asks me questions that I ask myself. But I think at times when I was asking myself those questions, I was asking it out of the emotional standpoint, and she is asking it out of the professional standpoint. So it's kind of like a mirror. So she helps me get to the point where I'm like, okay, well, I see the issue. I know the issue. Let me maneuver around the issue. Let me figure out how to squash that issue so that it never comes back. We all need that. Your neighbor on the stoop outside is not going to be the best therapist for you. Now, don't get me wrong. You can probably learn a few things from them, but you're not going to get what you need. So I say if you have emotional, mental issues or that you feel like you need to talk about, find a therapist. Go talk to them. They have groups